Hey everyone, it's Andrew from Popped Up, and today we're going to be diving into chapter 292 of the My Hero Academia manga, proving that each and every chapter somehow is able to get better, even with the huge reveal what happened last week in 291. Best Jeanist has now fully joined the fight. The battle between Dabi and Shoto is now heating up, and to a surprise of many of us, Mirio is back with his quirk. With all that said, let's not wait too much time and jump into this week's chapter. It starts off with Best Jeanist in a cargo plane watching this week's episode of Keeping Up with the Todorokis, seemingly disgusted with Dabi's reveal of the family's dirty laundry, and honestly, that's fair, but at that moment, he does jump in, which we see at the end of chapter 291, which does two major things for the heroes. One, it locks up Machia, all the villains, Dabi, and pretty much gives the heroes a second to breathe, with Deku not being in a good place, Bakugo still being injured. All the heroes really need a second to kind of catch their breath before going on with this fight that's been going on for what seems like forever, which is really only a couple hours now in the actual universe. But it also does a really big thing to discredit a lot of what Dabi's been saying and what's airing on TV right now. A big part of what they're saying is that Hawks worked with the villains to kill the Best Jeanist, the number 3 hero, and by him jumping in, that discredits a lot of what Dabi's saying, hopefully giving society some more faith in heroes, which right now is probably at an all-time low with everything not looking good. And even if it does, the number 1 hero has now been accused of breeding his children, and it's just not a very good look. And any kind of advantage the heroes can get right now is going to be so big, and Best Jeanist coming in at this time was the exact thing that they needed. But even with Best Jeanist being alive, Dabi really doesn't seem to be worried. He still knows that the hard truth that he's said about Endeavor and the family is really going to impact hero society as a whole, and he's still rocking his iconic smile, seemingly not feeling like he's been defeated. And honestly, there's a good point to that, because during all of this, Spinner is continuing to try to wake up Shigaraki, and as Hado was about to blast the villains on top of Machia, Shigaraki uses his forced activation quirk to cause Dabi to shoot Hado out of the sky and also break him free of his bindings. With Dabi free and continuing to have that big smile, Shoto jumps into the fight against his long-lost battle. Meanwhile, Shigaraki finally gives the order to Machia to destroy everything, giving the giant a burst of power to begin breaking free from his restraints. Elsewhere on the battlefield, we see unknown heroes fighting the Nomus that Shigaraki released early on in the fight. Almost half of the heroes have been defeated, even though some of the Nomus have been defeated as well. The 4 of them do take off and start heading towards Shigaraki, with those heroes trying to keep up, but they're just not able to in their current state. As Shoto and Dabi continue battle, it's clear that Dabi may not be winning the fight currently, but he's still not really worried. He's still smiling. He's still just on top of the world and really enjoying this fight against Shoto that he seems to have been planning and wanting for a very long time. But also from this fight, we do learn something very important about Hado, is that she's not dead. As Shoto does mention, you almost killed her, which is a very good sign. And actually later on in the chapter, we do get a one-shot of Ida taking her to safety, which makes them about the same level of characters now in terms of what they've done for this overall fight, but that's a whole different topic. The 4 Nomu do appear on the battleground, targeting Best Jeanist, and Midoriya is doing his best to move, but he's clearly gone past his limit, activating Float, and just overall the fight is taking a huge toll on them, using 100% multiple times already, and it's clear he's not going to be able to move and save Best Jeanist in time. But in one of my favorite moments of probably the entire series, Mirio head slightly appears out of the ground, and he begins to shout his iconic power before blasting the 4 Nomu into the sky. And that is where chapter 292 ends, with so much going on. The direction of the chapter, or really where this arc is going to go, still unknown. If this is going to be one of the last big arcs and something big is going to happen here, or if all the villains are going to go away. There's still so much in the air, and that one makes this arc so amazing. Before jumping in and kind of giving some of my thoughts and where I think this is going to go in the future, or even some of the things that happen in this chapter, if you are enjoying this video at all, please do subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment down below about your thoughts on the chapter, all that. This is the first time we're really doing one of these manga reviews, so I'd love to get any feedback, suggestions, and all that you may have about that, of how to improve these going forward, because we're all really excited about this manga going on right now, so I want to keep talking about it, and I want to have others listen to it as well. So feedback and suggestions are very much appreciated. But with that, let's talk about what actually happened in this chapter, the biggest one being Mirio returning. I think a lot of us expected this to happen at some point, but honestly, I thought there'd be more lead up to this moment. I thought we'd see Eri redoing his power. I mean, this was all talked about so long ago that she'd one day hopefully be able to undo the effects of the bullet. And now it's seemingly that's how this happened. Otherwise, I can't think of any other suggestions. But nonetheless, I really do expect in these upcoming chapters, we're going to probably get a full chapter or at least half a chapter about the backstory of how he got to where he is today. I mean, this is a huge turning point for the heroes, but also so many people love Mirio. I mean, he's the favorite baby daddy of the entire My Hero universe. So the fact that he's back in action is so exciting for me, him being one of my favorite characters, but also his power and what he's going to be able to do in turning this battle around is also huge. So I really do suspect to learn how we got to this point sooner than later. I love Hato as a character, but she always gets the wrong side of the stick whenever she shows up on these pages, and I don't know why. But I do think it's actually going to be a good turning point for another character to come into the limelight with her injury, which is Amajiki, who we really haven't seen too much in these chapters in this battle. And with Mirio returning, I really do hope that Amajiki does come side by side and fight with his best friend, who has now had his quirk back. And honestly, I hope that Hato's okay and that at some point she's used well in this battle, but I'm assuming with these injuries she's not. And that probably takes Ida out of this battle as well. Two characters that I thought there were some cool inclusions that they could have done in this battle that they just didn't seem to really want to take advantage of, but they know much more than I do. And nonetheless, like I said, it opens up the door for Amajiki, who I really want to see come into this. But that's just kind of more of a hope than I think this is going to happen. Really, with Mirio being back, I think he's going to be the main limelight of these next couple of chapters. I do think that hopefully Deku is going to overcome and go beyond once again. I don't know if there'll be any more quirk activations. I really think he's at his limits, and anything more on his body, he'll be out of commission for a while, which is why I think this overall arc and battle is coming to an end soon. Is there's not much more that can happen here. I mean, we have Shoto and Dabi going at it right now, and I think that's the big thing happening right now, and that airing of the video is still going on. But I think what's going to be more interesting is this battle ending up soon to be a Shigaraki Deku. The main two that we really care about, All for One and One for All at this point, are really out of commission, don't have much left in their tanks. But seeing the impact of what this battle does to the My Hero universe is what I think is going to be one of the most interesting arcs or moments in the entire series. Because up until this point, everyone's idolized heroes. Everyone's always wanted to be one or loves them or supports them. And with the news about Endeavor and also the destruction that's been caused with most of the heroes in all of Japan working together, still not being able to fully stop them and some of these villains getting away, is really not a good thing for hero society as a whole. And I'm really worried about how that's going to go, but I think it's going to set up some really cool moments and world building elements that we haven't seen in a while with this whole fight going on. But nonetheless, this chapter is amazing. 291 was amazing as well, and I can't wait for 293 because, as I said at the beginning, every chapter finds a way to get better and better, and this one was not an exception. I think next week is going to continue to improve, especially with Mirio being back in the limelight. But that's really all I want to talk through today. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter as much as I did in listening through and talking through all of it. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below your favorite moments in the chapters, all that as I said. But with that, hope you guys all enjoyed it. I will be back next week for chapter 293 of My Hero Academia.